Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. I'm Linda Gibbs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Canada. I don't know if you can see behind me through the window. It has been snowing through the night and all day today, and I've shoveled a couple times. So hopefully if you're watching, you are not in this crazy weather, but you know what? It's November. It's time for snow. I'm good. I can't wait to get my fat bike out and go hit the trails. So yeah, anyways, we're not here to talk about biking. This is Stamping A to Z. It is my weekly live series that I do on Facebook here. I totally just lost my train of thought. Anyways, yeah, so if this is your first time watching, I'm here every Wednesday at noon Mountain Time, and I go through different products, different techniques, how to use those products, hopefully inspire you to pull out your stuff and get crafting, and hopefully teach you new ways to use the stuff that you have, or you might want some new stuff too. I'm happy to help with that if you're in Canada. Today I was inspired actually. So Martin Stone, who's a demonstrator in the UK, he is doing a 30-day Christmas card making challenge. And so I posted that yesterday. And it has all the different themes for every day. And I'm going to try and post every day. I'm going to try and make a card every day. This is my goal. I hope that you will follow along. I hope that you'll craft with me and share your cards as well. You can always add your hashtag to the 30-day, 30-day Christmas card making challenge, and so that'll all link them. There's some amazing cards out there just from day one yesterday. It's awesome. So hopefully, I hope that you'll join me. And if you just want to, you can always post in the comments of my post, or just link me when you post it yourself, so I can see what you guys are making as well. And if you aren't already following me, if you follow me, you'll see my cards being posted every day. I post them on Facebook and Instagram, so you can find them there. Yeah, so today, where I was going with that is it kind of inspired me for my video today. The card that I made yesterday, I guess I was inspired by a designer series paper, and then I thought to myself, how can I recreate this without designer series paper? Because not everybody has that designer series paper. So I'm going to show you today how to take basic cardstock and turn it into something with texture and more wow, without having designer series paper. So just a plain piece of cardstock. I have two different techniques for you today. Yeah, so one of them will be, I'll show you how I made my card from yesterday. And then I'm going to show you how I made my card for today, which I haven't posted yet. So you'll get a sneak peek of that one. Let me turn you around and we will get started for the awkward transition. Hopefully this doesn't flip on me. And oops, sorry, I just realized I forgot to check the volume. Sometimes it lets me do the volume beforehand and sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. Okay. That looks like we're on. Let me just find it on my iPad here so I can try and see if there's comments. Be sure to say hi if you're watching, whether it's the replay or live. I do post the replay on YouTube, so if you have friends that aren't on Facebook, or you don't like to look on Facebook, you can always go to YouTube and check that out. Before I start on the projects, I want to remind you, I did a couple episodes ago, I showed you the Fitting Florets new collection. So it's got the designer series paper, the dies, and the stamp set, and the extra seasonal stamp set. So that is available as of yesterday for customers. So if you liked it and you want it, you can head over to my store and you can grab that, no problem. The November host code is out as well. If your shopping list is, if your checkout, if your cart is larger than $200, make sure you don't use that code because you want to get the rewards for yourself. I also wanted to mention, I just had my first card club for the year last week, and I wanted to show you the cards that we made. I still have a few spots open, so if you're interested in joining, send me a message and I can definitely give you more information. So this was the first card that we made. They were all kind of fall themed for October. This was the next one, and then we did a fun little Halloween. Oops, he's stuck his dancing feet. I can't really, it's hard to get it on camera, but we did this fancy fold as well. So those were the cards. If you're interested in getting 3 cards in the mail, all the paper is cut out for you, and I just teach you how to put them together once a month. We meet on Zoom. So let me know if you're interested. All right, let's get started. So for those of you who saw my card yesterday, this is the card I made. I don't usually show the card first, but I'm guessing a lot of you have already seen it, so I'm going to show it. Hello, Linda. Hello, Mom. All right. So in order to make this, I just took a piece of real red cardstock, and I will show you the inspiration that kind of started all of this. So this is the holly, where did it go? This is the Leaves of Holly bundle, sweet, and it has a designer series paper that goes with it. And I was searching through and I came across this paper, and it kind of looked like something I liked. So I thought to myself, how do I make this here? So all I did, I tried a couple different ways actually, because in a lot of times I take inspiration for my colors out of the designer series paper. So if you look at the back, or even in the catalog, I believe it tells you, let me just check before I tell you a lie. Before I do that, I'm pretty sure it tells you what the colors are in the catalog, as well as, yeah. So it gives you the main colors that are in the designer series paper, or you can read it on the back if you actually have the designer series paper. So I noticed that there's 3 reds in this paper. So I was like, oh, I never thought to put the reds together. So I tried with Poppy Parade and then adding 2 other darker reds. That didn't look so great. I tried. So then I went to the real red, and adding Poppy Parade doesn't really do much. So then I just added the cherry cobbler to kind of give it that swish. So as you guys know, my blending brushes are my favorite tool. And all I did was I took my cherry cobbler, and then you just kind of want to come in and put some, you don't want to go all over, because you just want to kind of have it so that it's kind of splotchy, I guess. And then it looks like it's kind of highlighted in places. I did end up going around the whole thing just to darken it up a little. I also, when I first did my last one, I had the real red out, and I kind of went over it as well to give it a bit of, it kind of lightens it up a bit more. So if it's not kind of bright enough for you when you've got your stuff kind of on here, you could come back with your real red. Ooh, this is stuck. Red is like the messiest inks possible. Christmas time is messy. So I'm just going to try and take off the majority of the cherry cobbler just because it is darker than my real red. I should have come in with it first, or maybe used a different brush. All my brushes are dirty right now. I need to clean them. So I'm just coming over with some real red. I don't know if it makes a difference or not. And then you've kind of got that, you know what? I think I need a bit more cherry cobbler. It's fine. It's fine. So then that it's nice, but I wanted to add a bit more. So what I have old aqua painter, so it's like our current water painters, I think. These ones were called aqua painters. I use the old one because this is my dedicated for the Whisper White ink, which is not really a water, it's pigment ink. It's not water-based. So I just kind of keep it to its own brush because it is kind of messy. It doesn't kind of totally come off. And then I'm just putting a bit more water here. So, and then I just take the cat like you do with a marker and just do the splatter. So you kind of have a nice white splatter. And voila, there is my first background. Then for the rest of this, it's pretty simple. I've pre-cut all these, so there's two different size leaves. There's the background leaves, which are these, which I cut out in soft succulent. And then there is the, what do you call it? The more intricate part of the leaf that I cut out in Evening Evergreen. So again, just kind of taking the colors inspiration from the paper. And then I cut out the main cherries in Real Red and then cherry cobbler for the more detail. And I didn't, on my first go around, I had to glue these because I didn't put the adhesive paper on before I die cut because I thought, oh, there's lots of room. But I actually, on the larger one, it was pretty easy. But to get these little pieces stuck down, it's kind of hard with the glue. So I decided to try with the adhesive sheet this go round. See if that's better. And as you can see, when you peel it, it pretty much comes off. There's just a couple pieces left behind. If you peel it carefully enough, you can pretty much get them all off. And if you don't have to get them all off, just personal preference. And let's just, so you can stick it on directly so that it's perfectly aligned, or you could offset it if you wanted that underleaf to show, but I find this is a little bit more real looking. I don't know how real that is, but how many soft succulent leaf colored, especially this time of year, but it's super pretty either way. I really like those colors together. See, if you're careful enough, and you can see it's kind of hard to get the glue on those teeny little, and then they'll be, if you don't mind them sticking up, then you can see they're sticking up a little bit on my, because it was difficult to get the glue. But with the adhesive sheet, it just sticks right down, no problem at all. And I did the same with the cherries. I put the adhesive paper on. And if you're like me, doesn't have nails, it's helpful to have the take your pick tool. Except for I'm splitting the paper instead of taking off the, This is some super, look, I'm peeling the paper again. This is crazy. I've never had that. There we go. I've never had that problem. And if you don't know, in some of my earlier videos, I did show, I featured cardstock, and you can actually peel the cardstock and have like a suede effect to your paper. So it's not the end of the world if your paper splits. However, for cherries, or berries, I should say, not cherries. Am I dreaming of cherries? Then you probably don't want to split it. So yeah, I just had those. I stuck them down with some dimensionals. And then this little greeting is from the same bundle. It has this skinnier, and then it has this nice big with the leaves label. But I wanted the red to be more the focus, since that was the, I think it was something red was the theme of the day. Hello, Yolande. Oh, you were cleaning. I need to clean my room. It's a good thing you guys can't see most of my room because it is a total mess right now. And then I just added these beautiful red rhinestones, which are in the annual catalog. And then I ended up stamping inside as well, just to really finish it off. But that is how so the season's greetings was just with the stamp from the same set also. And you can see with it being photopolymer, you can stamp it after the fact, or you can stamp it first and then cut it out. But I didn't want to bore you with all of the steps, because sometimes I found some of my lives are getting really long. So, and I was supposed to have, I had a walking date with my pups this afternoon, and I have a tight window because I have to pick up my youngest at school. He leaves early because he trains every day. And so yeah, I had a tight window, so I was like, okay, I have to be quick today. But then because of all the snow, our date got canceled, but I still need to walk them. So my big one, she loves the snow, and so I'm sure she's gonna go crazy when we get outside. I'm gonna flip this over because red can just kind of get onto everything. So I'm going to start clean. So now I've got a balmy blue. So today's card for the card making challenge is in the snow. So I decided to use this Joyful Flurry bundle. It has the stamp set doesn't look like a whole lot. I liked the sentiments, and it was the dies that totally sold me on this. I have so many snowflake stamp sets from previous years. It's like, do I really need them? But these were really calling my name. So these 3 snowflakes, when you die cut them, they don't cut out the snowflake. They're just pop-ups within your card. So you'll see, they're so super cool. I will show you, I'll actually die cut these for you in a second. First, we will do our blingy background. So putting away the blender brushes, I was like, okay, what other way can I make a nice, I wanted kind of like a lots of movement, because, you know, snow flurries. This is actually the perfect card for today with how much it's snowing outside. So didn't even plan that, but it totally worked out. I have my big glass block here. If you don't have a block, you can use your silicone pad, just something that's wipeable. It can be anything. And then I have balmy blue here. So I decided, I tried balmy blue on balmy blue, and to be honest, it really didn't. The blue ended up being quite a bit, it was darker, but it was more purpley. So I wanted kind of more the brighter blue. So I took the Tahitian Tide, which is one of our new in colors. And I'm just going to, it's my fault it's snowing. I don't know about that. I wasn't the one that created this card making challenge list. He's in the UK, so I highly doubt it's snowing there, but it just kind of worked out. I don't think you can blame me for this one. I'm sure it's harder coming back from Mexico into the snow. Okay, so then I just spritzed it with a bit of water, and then I have my water painter, and I'm just gonna kind of move it around. I have some darker, some lighter. You can use alcohol for this too, but you end up getting a very, it soaks into your cardstock so fast, there isn't a lot of movement to it. It's more just like splotchy. So, and depending on the time, if you have time to let it dry, then use water. If you don't have time to let it dry, then alcohol is quite quick. So you can see it's all kind of nice and swirly. And then you can just take, I just use baby wipes and then wipe whatever you're using. Although because it's water-based, you can clean it after the fact. It doesn't matter if it sits there for a while. So since this is wet, I'm gonna set it aside. I pre-made one. And it's funny because it doesn't have as much of movement as this one. It had I had left some ink dots and they were really dark and like ugly. And then now that it's dry, it's much better. So there's not a lot of movement in here. If you wanted a bit more movement, you could probably come in with your blending brush or some sponge daubers, or you can even, you can take a spritzer and add some color to it and then spritz it as well. I don't want to get this one wet. Maybe I'll do it on this one just so you can see. I'm not even sure what color's in this one. It might be balmy blue. I think it's balmy blue. I hope it's balmy blue. Oh, jeez. I don't want to spritz too much. So you can get like some dots or whatever. Oh, this has alcohol. This one's alcohol based. So anyway, so I could spray away and, oh my goodness, making a mess. Okay, whew, that's strong. All right, we'll set that aside. We'll try and wipe this off a little. And then we'll take our dry one, and then I'm going to spritz it, but what's it called? Shimmery, this paint that we used to have, we don't have it anymore. I had taken some of this and put it in here mixed with, I'm gonna guess it's alcohol. I can't remember, it's been a while. I've had this. Yeah, it's alcohol. It's not water. So I have the shimmer in there. If you don't have the shimmery paint to put in here, you could do something with the Pearlized Enamel Effects Basics. You can use it as is and make the nice enamel dots. But if you don't want to, you could water it down and spritz it, and I'm sure it would make a really cool effect. I should have tried that actually, but I didn't want to dump this out till it's finished. There's lots of ways you can do this. Now, I'm going to spritz it. I'm going to hope. So I had a really happy accident. Yeah, it's not doing it this time. So the first time I did this, yeah, there we go. It didn't spray well, and it just was very concentrated. So I had all these blobs of shimmer, which I liked. And then when I did it, I'll show you. This is the one that had balmy blue on balmy blue, and it was just like this even shimmer, which I did not like. So now I did manage to get some blobs of shimmer on here, so that's good. You just kind of have to get it so that it's dripping versus spritzing nicely. Our spritzers are too nice, so maybe I need like a cheap dollar store spritzer that maybe isn't so evenly, or that has different nozzles that you can spray. Okay, so there we go. I'm just going to give it a quick blast of heat to make sure it's dry, because I have to cut out the snowflakes through here. And actually I found when I did my card, it wasn't super dry, and it actually worked well to cut it out not super dry because it makes it easier to pop them up and not have any tears or risk any tears. I don't know if it would tear. It just felt more malleable. Okay, so then I'm going to take these two snowflakes. So there's 3 that do pop-ups. I'm just using 2 right now. And then I'm going to get my big boss here. Try and get it mostly in the camera. I should have made it small enough to use the mini, and then it's much easier to get in. You know what? I'm just gonna, well, should I? Let's just lift this up and then you can get a better view. Okay. So I'm just going to put one on the bottom and one, I'm kind of diagonal from each other. And then I'm just going to run it through like a normal die. Oops, I'm hitting everything. This takes up a lot of room. That's why I try to do my die cuts off camera so I'm not pulling them through. Not taking up. So now you're probably too high for the view. So we'll bring you back down. I like Yolanda, how you said hi to Mo. It's actually, my mom is using my dad's account. She never signed up for her own account. So it's actually, you get that's on there. I'm sure you know. But I just think that's funny. So yeah, you can see it punches out a bunch of holes, and then this one doesn't have the holes, but it just has all the cutouts. So I find the easiest way to pop it up is to turn it over, and then I just take my Take-A-Pick tool and just kind of push them up like so. And here too, there's like 3 little, there's actually 4. So it just depends how much you want to play with the pop-ups. And I told myself this last time, that it would be helpful to use the adhesive sheet on here. Because then it's, although then you'd have the adhesive on the snowflakes. So maybe not. Never mind. Okay, so I've got my snowflakes all popped up. Isn't that cool? Then I wanted to pair it with Night of Navy. But then I realized, and I was searching, I wanted to put something shiny underneath. So I tried with silver, didn't love it. And then I was looking for, this foil, which is in the annual catalog, and the darker purple, but I would have had to go with a more purpley look, which I think would be really pretty for snowflakes. But instead I found that I had this blue foil. It was from the Waves, when they released the Waves collection early last spring. Well, I think in the spring, before the annual catalog. So it's no longer available. So you can't do the blue if you don't have it, but you could easily do that more purpley one. So I don't know if I can catch that on camera, but you can get like it sparkles behind the snowflake, which is really cool. So that's how I did that. And then, so you know what, I'm going to put this together because I changed, oops, I'm dropping things. Where did it go? Oh no, I lost my snowflake. I'll have to find it after. It fell under a shelf. Okay, I'll show you the finished card, but so in my original card, which I'll show you, I used Night of Navy. So I used the blue foil under my snowflakes, but then I added Night of Navy cardstock for the rest of this. So you can see I really got some spritzy splotchy of the glitter. So that's what I really liked about that one. Like, I really like how that background turned out. And it's funny. So on this background, I used Tahitian Tide. And I think I put Tahitian Tide on top. This one I used Balmy Blue and added Tahitian Tide. And let's see when we put it on the white. It's hard to tell how, if it's, I thought this would be more subdued, but it actually pretty much looks the same. I was just trying, you know, trying out some different colors. If they get kind of stuck down, because like I said, my card was still wet when I was playing with this, so you can always just kind of get your little pick in there and pop it up so that you can see that nice glimmer. So in here I used the foil instead of the cardstock, and I also embossed on this just to give it a little bit more bling. What do you think? What's better, blingy or non-blingy? It's probably hard to see on the video in the light, but I just lost one of my snowflakes under the shelf. I'll have to grab it afterwards. So I just glued these down. This one I didn't use the adhesive because it's easy enough just to put a drop of glue wherever my glue is. I'm just losing everything today. I said my desk is so messy. I'm in the middle of making so many different projects. It's a mess. Mess is good though, because that means I'm crafting. Okay, so that's easy to pop down. And then to glue this part down because of the snowflakes, I used my glue and I actually put dots like wherever it's not popped up so that it would hold it down. Although it probably doesn't matter. I thought if it was stuck down, especially in the center, then you would be able to see that glitter through easier. Whereas if it's kind of up, you can't see it as easily. So I put glue kind of all in here and then I glued it down. I have not finished the inside yet, but this is my in the snow. You just put away all your Halloween stuff. Yeah, I started doing that as well. I need to finish doing that. This is my snow one. So that's for today's challenge. I don't remember what tomorrow is, but I'm going to try and make a card every day. That will make me 30 Christmas cards by the end of the month. So if you guys follow along, or if you want to copy the ones, I'll try and, if they're kind of technique ones, I will definitely, like next week, I'll probably choose 2 of the best ones to show how to make them. So you can always go back and make them. So on this one, I put the iridescent, what are they called? Iridescent jewels or something. They're in the annual catalog. But I also did think, I don't know, but it would probably look pretty with the pearlized enamel effects as well as your centers for the snowflakes. Let me just try and see on this little snowflake. Oh yeah, that would be really pretty. I'm going to add that to these ones once I stick it down. I have to stick it down first. This is going to be tough to stick down now, but once if you notice, so it kind of is self-correcting. So you can put it down and then it just kind of rounds itself. So it's a nice little bead that you end up with. So just as a reminder, so this is the Leaves of Holly bundle, and then this one is the Flurry, Joyful Flurry bundle sets that I've used for these cards. Hopefully I've inspired you to go make some really fun backgrounds with your plain old cardstock And yeah, hopefully you guys have a great rest of your week, and we will see you next Wednesday. Bye.